Hello and welcome back to our INT series. Today we're talking to At0mical, who is a player for Swansea Storm Red PUBG team. He got amazing 52 kills in the Newell Winter PUBG split, and he's here answering all of your questions. Swansea Storm Red won the Newell Winter tournament for PUBG this year, and you got amazing 52 kills. Can you tell me a little bit more about it? So all the way from week one, how was the progress, how was the start, and all the way to the last week?
Yeah, I mean, the winter tournament was great fun. Shout out to Newell for hosting it. I mean, from the first week, my PC actually broke, so I didn't get to play in the first week. But I mean, with regards to the tournament, it is a bit of a shame because it does lack in player base, player numbers. On average, I'd say there's around 25 players or so, compared to a normal full competitive lobby, which has around 64 players or so. But another issue with the tournament was there is a wide range of skills on the players. With our main roster, we're fortunate that every player had, over 800 hours or so in game, and that really helped us. But I mean, I know that the community around the university esports scene is great. Everyone knows each other. We're all friends. We play games. Mixed university games, and it's really a great place. And I feel like if we had bigger player base numbers, it would be a great addition to the university esports scene. The games are fun, etc.
Yeah, that's exactly one of the things that I keep telling to anyone who sort of wants to join the team from Roehampton side, because you get to experience what competitive esports means, while competing against other universities. But it's also it's a fun competitive side. It's not the cutthroat, I want to win,
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. It's rather more of one of the friendly esports. Definitely.
That's great. So can you tell me a little bit more about your team and how you guys managed to win the Newell tournament? Like, did you have a training schedule? Did you have any coaches, or was it just pure mechanical skill of individual players?
Yeah, I mean, no coaches per se. Say the two of us, me and Jordan, had been together for a year. We played since the 2018 Winter Tournament, so there was some synergy there. And then we picked up Firecracker, who's a player like me, has over 3,000 hours in game, and that definitely was very helpful. So mechanical skill definitely played a big part in it. I'd say my personal competitive experience helped me lead the team. I knew the rotations we should take, etc., the compounds we need to hold, and yeah, it all came together nicely.
So who's the main shot caller of the team? Is it you?
Yes, yeah, it's me.
How are you finding the IGL role in PUBG? Is it?
I mean, normally I'm not an IGL for my public team. I'm just a fragger. I don't make any shot calls, etc. But I don't think it's a stressful role if you know what you're doing. But definitely, if you make a mistake, it's very detrimental to the team.
Yeah.
But usually, it's not just me. We make joint decisions. I'll suggest something and everyone agrees, then we make the call together.
Nice. It's good to hear that there's a sort of camaraderie in the team and everyone's working together as
Exactly.
So, what do you think are the other teams lacking? Is it just not having the right players at your university? Is it simple talent issues, or is it something bigger that maybe something Swansea is doing much better than the rest of the universities?
To be honest, I think it just comes down to player base and player numbers again. Unfortunately, there aren't that many PUBG players in the university scene, and compared to games like Counter-Strike and League, people have been playing those games for years. A lot of the Counter-Strike players on the scene have been playing since they're 15, 14, whereas PUBG is a relatively new game. It's definitely more niche than the bigger games, and I think when you're limiting the player base, to just university players, you're going to run into difficulties, especially when it comes to PUBG.
Yeah. In your Twitter bio says that you're also a CSGO player. So personally, what do you prefer, CSGO or is it just PUBG for you right now?
So, I mean, I got into first-person shooters through CSGO. I played over 3,000 hours at that game. I made LAN finals twice with our university team. We won the spring split, and I thoroughly love playing Counter-Strike. It's a great game. However, for me now, I definitely prefer PUBG. I find it much more fun and rewarding to play than Counter-Strike. But I've got to say, objectively, Counter-Strike is definitely a much better game to play competitively. There's next to no RNG, especially when compared to PUBG, and it comes down to the raw skill of the two teams involved.
Yeah, so when talking about competitive PUBG, I want to ask your opinion on specifically, the esports side of it, because a lot of NA teams sort of have dropped their rosters. There's a lot of changes. Today on Twitter, I saw that the the NA team Ghost Gaming, I believe, they only had $136 out of the PUBG skin or something like that. Which is
I was going to touch on this for you.
Tell me a little bit more about the PUBG scene.
So, I mean, it is currently a very important time for the PUBG esports scene. We're currently transitioning tournament format with the drop-in of the previous pro leagues, like the PUBG Europe League and the National PUBG League over in NA. And I think, a move like this, it'll either kill the scene or the scene's going to flourish. And we'll have to wait and see to see what happens. However, I think with regards to the drop into the rosters by the Rogues, I think it is to be expected. Last year, we saw how PUBG treated their teams and orgs, and it was rather poorly. The prize pools for the pro leagues were relatively rather small, and considering that the teams had to move for weeks on end to the locations to play the LANs, and then they had to live there. And if these teams didn't do well, there's not much money, and the returns to the org is going to be rather small. And as you just touched on, Ghost Gaming, for PGC, the PUBG put out skins for the teams, to help fund and get the word out there. And they were going to be revenue shared with the orgs. And just the other day, Ghost Gaming CEO tweeted out how much they actually received for their item, which is an in-game bat. Turns out they only received $170 for the item, and considering they're a rather large and popular org, especially in the NA scene, it's pretty surprising. $170 is pennies. It's nothing. So I don't know. Although at the same time, we just saw PGC in November, the PUBG Global Championship, and that had a $6 million prize pool. Which prior to that had been unheard of, that quantity of money in the PUBG scene. So, I mean, that's definitely a step in the right direction. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes with the PGS this year.
Yeah, for me personally, PUBG is, I don't know why, but PUBG is one of those games where I just can't get enough. It's so exciting. It's like, I'm horrible at it. Horrible. I have less than 1 KDA, so I'm really not the one who can even dream of going pro, but because I want to see what's the Face It London event just like a year ago.
Oh yes, yeah.
That was absolutely amazing.
I mean, yeah, definitely. PUBG is one of the best, if not the best esport to watch from a spectator standpoint.
Yeah. There's no doubt, like especially when it comes to BR, because a lot of people use, like, there was the main argument probably 2 years ago that battle royales can't be esports because it's impossible to the RNG, the spectating, and things like that. Like, if there's anyone doing it right, it is PUBG. It's probably just sorting out the tournaments, the payments, and making sure you actually have organizations. Yeah. So going back to you, so what are your plans for 2010, you personally? Because you also mentioned that your Twitter bio says that you're a player for silent shooters as well. Any plans for you for 2020?
Yeah, I mean, so I joined my team Silent Shooters, back in June. That was my first PUBG team, and we've stayed together for a while now. We've got a great roster, and we're working towards PGS this year. Really want to hope we can do well in the qualifiers. Hoping to make the events, in Berlin, etc. That'd be amazing. We're putting in the time. We practice daily. We watch demos. We're just putting a lot of time into it. So I really hope that we can go somewhere with that.
Yeah, that's great to hear. So with PUBG, I have a quick little section just before the very end. So a quick fire round. So some questions for you that you didn't see before. So I just want to hear your opinions. So very quickly, what's your favorite map?
Definitely Arangel, no doubt. It's the map that was out at the beginning of the game, and everyone knows it so well. It plays so well, especially in competitive. The spacing of the compounds, etc. It's all perfect.
Yeah. What's your favorite gun?
I'm gonna go with M4.
M4. So when it comes to question mini versus SLR, what's better?
Previously I would have said SLR, but since recently I'm gonna go with mini.
Good. Very good choice. I just love mini. There's nothing more satisfying than getting kills.
Definitely. Yeah.
Favorite vehicle?
Favorite vehicle? Bike, 2-man bike.
2-man bike.
No doubt.
Living it risky, don't you? Have you a favorite player? Professional player?
It's a difficult question. There's a lot of good ones out there, but I think I've got to go with K-Mind, ex-Genesis K-Mind.
Interesting choice. I'll definitely go for Uber. I don't know why, but the man can just...
Uber's a great player, yeah. No doubt.
It's probably a cliche statement because it's, you know, it's like picking any, Kenny S as your favorite opera in CSGO, so the basic one. And last question from the quickfire round: do you always chase the drops or do you never chase the drops?
In public games, always. Every drop I see, I chase it. Yeah. But in competitive, it's slightly different.
Yeah. So before the very end, do you have any tips for anyone who wants to get into PUBG scene, or to join, to become a professional or semi-professional, or just get better at game?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely recommend it. One of the first things I see for beginner players, especially players that are coming over from MOBAs and not like with a Counter-Strike background, see a lot of players come in with the wrong sensitivity for them, unsure of how to get the correct sensitivity. Usually too high. You should. There's lots of guides out there on YouTube how to find the right sensitivity for you. Definitely worth looking into. Other aspects of the game that you can learn, map rotations, movement, and all this can be learned by watching pro players, their streams, YouTube tutorials. All very helpful. But again, the main thing, as with any esports title, is time, practice. You put it in, you'll see results.
I got a feeling that it's very similar to CSGO. It's
very similar.
If you don't have 200 or 300 hours in the game, don't even worry about it. Just play the game and learn the game.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah. Very true.
Yeah, I just absolutely love. Like, I remember the very first thing I learned in PUBG is obviously I realized that it's not proper spray patterns, but you need to know how to spray with the gun, and it's just every single game I start a game and just until I ran out of tape, just the mouth just going down.
Yes, yeah, I'm very familiar.
Any final words? And is there any way people can find you if you have any questions about PUBG, CSGO, or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, if anyone's out there on edge about trying PUBG, maybe they tried it back when it first came out. Now since then the game is in an amazing place. Many of the performance issues have been sorted. It's everything's in a great place right now. It's definitely worth giving it a go. Finding some friends. There's a lot of Discord servers out there with people you can play with. So yeah, give it a go. And as with regards to me, you can find me on Twitter @0mical UK. I would say you could find my Twitch. I started streaming a few months back, but Twitch apparently decided they didn't like me, and I received some sort of random ban for something I'm very unaware of. I'm going to be in contact with them, see if I can get that sorted. But yeah.